Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another Conquest video guide. You've probably noticed that last night we had a brand new game update activated, which also activated the latest run of Conquest. And you know what that means? That as usual, the amazing guys over at SWGOH Events Discord server have released the data mine, including all the feats and boss battles. So as usual, I'll do a video here just quickly going through all the sectors and as well global feats and show you some of the team suggestions there that hopefully will allow you to be a bit more efficient. Now overall I have to say it's good news for this Conquest, just because there's a lot more overlap between sector and global feats and even some of the global feats themselves. So definitely I think we'll be able to get the max credit this time with a lot less battles. Now especially if you do have a Grand Inquisitor, because there are more Inquisitor feats, even a Grand Inquisitor feat specific one. But luckily, you know, if you don't have Inquisitors or Grand Inquisitors, you can still skip some of those, maybe some of the trickier feats, because you can skip up to 34 key cards this time. So there's definitely some wiggle room. So overall, I think it's going to be, you know, quite an easy run here. But anyway, let's just start off with the global feats. So Grand Victory return, so defeating 500 enemies. I mean, it'll just happen, no need to worry about that one. Now this will depend, if you do have good Inquisitors, you can go for this one. Otherwise, you know, if you do have low gear Inquisitors, winning 40 battles with a full squad of Inquisitors I think might be a waste of time, so you may decide to skip this one. We do have now Jedi, where you have to win 40 battles with a full squad of Jedi. We've got plenty of Jedi teams to build around, so I think this is going to be quite an easy feat to achieve for many of us. Then we've got Lane Nobi and Farm Nobi, so these two feats can actually overlap, because in this one you have to win 20 battles with Princess Leia and any version of Kenobi surviving, while in Farm Nobi you have to use Farm Boy Luke and all the bands surviving. So what you can do is use these two, add Leia, and then any two characters that can carry this battle then for you versus the enemies, and you can really knock out two global feats at once. So this I think really will be actually not two sets of 20 battles, but just like one set of 20 battles. So already a saving of 20 battles just from these global feats here. Then moving on, this one will actually grant you the caustic recurrence data disc. And with we have then obviously a feat for this data disc. As we had before, you have to inflict 100 stacks of damage over time from caustic recurrence. The way this data disc works is whenever debuffs expire, damage over time will land. That's why if you have Inquisitors, I think they'll be good because of all the debuffs that are spamming. For those of us that don't have Inquisitors, you know, I'll test out and see what other team is very effective at getting this feat done. Moving on, we've got defeating 100 enemies with either Jedi Master or General Kenobi. Now if you do have Jedi Master Kenobi, shouldn't be too difficult to get this done. If you don't, and you do have Master Luke, you can also utilize General Kenobi there, and everybody keep calling Kenobi for assist with Inherited Teachings ability, and you know, he can do most of the defeating there. So I think this one shouldn't be too difficult as well, as long as you got one of these Galactic Legends. If not, again, you know, I'm sure we'll figure out something out depending on data disc how you can get this done. This will grant you the Cereso Forum data disc, and with this you then have to deal damage 40 times with Cereso Forum. And the way this data disc works is you have to take a few hits and then it will start doing damage to the enemies. So there have to be teams that are slow but very durable, so they can survive the opening wave. Again, more testing to come, and I'll update these as needed once I do get those data discs. Let's start now with Sector 1. Already you can see such a big overlap here between sector and global feats here. Jedi, you have to defeat 50 enemies with Jedi. I think it's gonna be straightforward, especially in Sector 1, whichever Jedi team you put together. Purge feat, if you have Inquisitors, again, shouldn't be too difficult. For the ones that don't, we'll try again some sort of Master Luke Watt cheese or Palpatine cheese teams. You know, we'll test it out and see. Depending on the data discs available. Obviously, stealth feat, again, you know, there are plenty of ways to get stealth, but if you do have Inquisitors, obviously you can just be knocking out the stealth feat while you're doing your purge feat with 8th Brother. Otherwise, you could try the Lane Nobi, Farm Nobi feat here under Elite, maybe just pluck in R2 for smoke screen. Otherwise, as well, Maul is great for stealth as well as Bad Batch, but obviously Maul here in Bad Batch won't be making progress towards any other feat except stealth. Then we've got here the torture feat. Now you have to attempt to inflict torture 50 times So you know, for key cards, maybe this is the one worth skipping even if you do have Grand Inquisitors, because Grand Inquisitor is the only one that can inflict torture, so maybe you can get a couple of tortures per battle, I'm not sure. Same thing with Trip as well, he can inflict torture, so if you don't have Grand Inquisitor and you absolutely have to get these 5 key cards, you know, you can utilize some sort of Trip team here again. We'll be testing these things out and see how things go. Mini boss, so this is going to be versus Jawas. Chief Nebit lead, and you have to win with surviving, and then also without using support units. Now mind you, these are Jawas, there's gonna be lots of thermal detonators, and every time thermal detonators explode, they recover protection. So maybe using Bad Batch, landing heal immunity on them with Echo, get stuns and quickly take them out before the you know, they start defeating you with thermal detonators. Again, we'll be testing and see how this one goes. And you know, no support, some sort of Jedi team, I guess, so you can also knock out the global feat as well for the Jedi at the same time. Then we got final boss. We have to battle versus Inquisitors with 7 Sisters surviving, and also the return of Hoki Religions as well. So it really depends, obviously, what kind of team you can put together around your 7 Sister. We should be able to get this knocked out. And then Hoki Religions, again, just put in Bad Batch, I guess. We'll see, depending really what feats you still need to work on here in Sector 1 once you come to the boss. Moving on, we got Sector 2, more Inquisitor feats. Now in this one you have to defeat 50 enemies with Inquisitors, so you can already see the theme here, like if you do have a good Inquisitor squad, probably going for the 40 battles with Inquisitor in the global feat would be good, because anyway you can knocking them out at the same time as you're doing all these Sector feats. And here we go. Otherwise, you know, last time I did some cheese team as well here with like Tarkin, Thrawn, Phasma, and a couple of their Inquisitors. Again, depending on the data disk, we'll see what can be cheesed. Moving on, defense up, gain defense up, Clone Wars Chewie. We know how this one works already, very easy, straightforward. Then health still up. This one, you know, many ways to gain health still up, either do with Palpatine, or if you do have Starkiller, you can do as well Chouhani, Visas, Palpatine, they all have health still up, Kira as well, and Grief also with the Bounty Hunter. So quite a few options here, you know, depending on what you have on your roster. Critical hits, you know, whatever, right? It'll happen by itself. Now we're up to middle boss in Sector 2, so this one is versus just some random bounty hunters. And you have to win with a Sash surviving, so just, you know, throw a whole Night Sister squad at them, I guess. And then Hoki Religions, you can maybe just do Bounty Hunters with Grief in there for the health still up if you still need it at that point. And final boss, it's going to be another random bounty hunter team, and this time you have to win with Princess Leia surviving and without using attackers. Because we have that global Lay Nobi and Farm Nobi feats, you can maybe just knock this out at the same time. And for the no attackers feat, maybe put in Jedi team together of support and healers. So let's move on to Sector 3. Now we have some Empire theme here. So again, if you do have Inquisitors, you can use them here, knock out Inquisitor, Global feat, and Empire feat here in Sector 3. Otherwise, they're different teams. Obviously, you can put something with Lord Vader. The reason why I put these guys in is because there is some overlap with the other feats like Stagger and Foresight and things like that. We obviously got Troopers, we got Pulps as well here. Plenty of options, obviously, for the Empire. Then in terms of Foresight, again, you know, Inquisitors themselves, they do have some Foresight coming in. Then obviously we've got various Jedi comps here with both Yodas for Foresight. You could even go down the Qui-Gon late team with both Kenobis to maybe get some Kenobi kills done as well here. Because, you know, with Qui-Gon you get Foresight at the start of battle and anytime any unit is defeated. Both General Kenobi and Master Kenobi again have abilities to grant Foresight, so, you know, hopefully that shouldn't be too difficult. Otherwise, Bad Batch as well, plenty of Foresights to go around. We have the return of the Stagger feat, so that's why you can maybe, if you do have Lord Vader, you just put Stark, Krennic, and Mara. They all have like AoEs that can stagger, so just running them under Lord Vader, you know, hopefully should be able to knock out Stagger quite quickly. Or if you don't, you can just do, you know, Imperial Trooper lineup again with Stark, or you do here Palpatine, Mara, Vader kind of team, because also both Basti and Mara, they have Stagger. And finally, you can also kind of knock out some sort of Rail together with Lay Nobi, Farm Nobi feat, with Vethan, because on his basic he can stagger as well, so you can hopefully get a few staggers out that way. Again, plenty of ways to get stagger done. Master's Training, now this is similar like Torture, very limited characters, only one actually can do it, and that's Hermit Yoda. and I think it has a cooldown of 3 or something, so you can use 1, then if you stall the battle. So I'm pretty sure we'll find a way to cheese this, but otherwise you'll be gaining maybe 2 or 3 a battle. So definitely 50 times, you know, that could easily take, I don't know, 15 battles or so. But maybe, hey, you can farm your data crowns at the same time, so maybe that's not too bad, I guess. So that was the idea behind this Ray team, just kind of throw in Ray, and then a bunch of non-attackers like Mon Mothma, C-3PO, and Vet Han there for the stagger. And then her Meteora obviously just keeps killing up Ray, so Ray can keep spamming her lifeblood, so enemy can't defeat you. And then her Meteora keeps using Master's Training, right? And here we go, we're already on the mini boss. So the mini boss in Sector 3 is Probe Droid. So it's some weird teams this time. But here you have to win with Qui-Gon Jinn surviving and without using Jedi Sith or unaligned Force users. Again, some sort of Jedi team here that you can put together. And then for Hockey Allegiance, I guess just knock out maybe here with the Imperial Troopers, you know, because we have Empire Feat as well in this sector anyways. Moving on to final boss, here we have to win with Grand Inquisitor surviving. We are battling Darth Vader, and we have to win without using Jedi, Sith and unaligned Force users yet again. Now if you don't have Grand Inquisitors, this will be 4 key cards that you will be missing. Otherwise for Hockey Allegiance, you know, just again maybe using Troopers again depending on how fast the boss will be. And let's move on to Sector 4. Here we go. So this we've got Imperial Troopers now. Again, you can put kind of 2 Imperial Troopers line up either with Veers or Iden. Then evasion down. The best source of evasion down is 3PO and Chewie on his basic, and anytime Rebel uses an ability, he's called to assist, so you know you should be able to knock this out quickly. Otherwise, you can also maybe combine it with Rey and again Lane Nobi and Farm Nobi feats, and then throw in Bodhi for good measures, because Old Ben and Bodhi, both of them on their basics, they're dealing evasion down. Or also you can put some sort of Sith team here with Fallen Bastic, because she as well can do evasion down for you. And moving on, we got no attackers, so again kind of the repeat here of the Trooper lineup. Same thing with the Sith. That's why the Sith team in previous step I designed it in such way so it doesn't use any attackers. Then you can do as well, you know, a couple of different Jedi lineups as well without attackers also. And then finally we got a Rebels feat. You can just go in with a standard Rebels team, but obviously they do have attackers in there. So you know you will not be able to do 2 for 1 here, but at least you can get evasion down with 3PO and Chewie. Or you can maybe do like some sort of Rebel team again, trying to do Lane Nobi and Farm Nobi feat at the same time. Or maybe we'll see. You know, a lot of us now do have Rogue One team up and running because of Profundity, so we'll see if we can get something done with this particular Rebel lineup that doesn't use attackers, and Bodhi in there for the evasion down on his basic. I don't know, we'll have to play around and see what we can get done. The mini boss in Sector 4, Stormtrooper, right? Weird bosses. So we do have to win with Darth Vader surviving and without using Jedi, Sith and unaligned Force users. And we got a Hockey Allegiance yet again just throwing Imperial Troopers. And then for the final boss battle, it's versus Grand Inquisitor, and we have to win with Kanan and Ezra surviving. So again, probably just putting some sort of Jedi team here together, and then we have the return of Hockey Allegiance yet again, maybe using Troopers. And then moving on, we're already up in Sector 5 now. So for Sector 5, you have to defeat 50 enemies with bounty hunters. So, you know, whatever bounty hunters we got, we'll see if we can find an enemy, depending on data disk, what we can get done here in Sector 5. Obviously, if you do have Jabba, you know, maybe that will be easier, but you know, with Jabba the trick is, you know, the thermal detonators deal most damage there. So if they die from thermal detonators, that won't count, but you know, I'm pretty sure you can get something to work with Jabba if you do have them unlocked. Moving on, we got ability blocks, you know, many ways to do this. Obviously you can utilize Boba with bounty hunters, or you do Jedi. Lots of Jedi do have ability blocks, same thing with Grand Inquisitors, or you do some sort of Sith Empire teams. Plenty of ways to get these ability blocks done, to be honest. Moving on, we can go for Blind. Now Blind is the one that, yeah, it takes a while, and I think it was also last time in Sector 5, so you know how this works. a 3P on Chewie, he's got a mass blind, but otherwise their Jedi Luke and Malgus, they can blind a single target at a time. So, you know, can a little bit slowly make progress towards that. And we do have the evasion feats, so this is where you have to evade at least 100 attacks in battles that you won. So again, some sort of Jedi team here with either Yodas for foresight. Again, you know, Maul with 20% evasions. Maybe you can as well evade a few times like this also. And then as well, if you want to do some sort of lane Obi, farm Obi global feat with Rey and maybe Master Yoda keeps spreading foresight, that could work as well. And the mini boss in Sector 5, you have to battle versus Jedi Knight Anakin with Mace surviving. So again, some sort of Jedi team here with Mace obviously, and then for Hockey Legions, just maybe try out Bounty Hunters, because we do have Bounty Hunter feat here in Sector 5. And for the final boss, we have to battle versus Darth Vader with Jedi Master Kenobi surviving. So if you don't have Jedi Master Kenobi, again, you'll be missing out here on 5 key cards, so it's something you will have to take account for if you don't have him when you're planning. Otherwise, throwing Kenobi, some sort of Jedi team there, and you should be good to go. And for Hockey Legions, maybe some sort of Sith team here. Again, you know, we can get lots of ability blocks there. Maybe get a couple of evasions because of the foresight that Fallen Bastila gives to herself and Darth Revan. So there you go, guys, that's all the feats here, the global and all the sector feats done. As you can see, hopefully, I think this time, as mentioned before, it's going to be a bit easier. Lots of overlap, you don't really have to stretch so much. I was really expecting some Hut Cartel feats this time, but not really. It's, you know, same Inquisitor feats as last time, and then lots of Jedi feats. I think hopefully this time it won't be as grindy as before, especially if you maybe skip a couple of those feats that may be too repetitive for you. As always, I'll be creating daily plan here that you can follow along if you want to, just showing you some suggested teams. Also recommended data discs, I will be updating these. So these are the 2 new data discs we're getting for the global feats, and then 1 more as well that was shared on SWGOH Events Discord. And obviously you can go have a look the enemies as well if you want to see some suggestions how to defeat them with different data discs, which we'll have to again wait and see. This for now is the data disc set from past Conquest. We'll see if we do get Return of Amplifier Agony or not. And of course, as I'll be making videos, all the video guides will be ending up here on my SWGOH for Life website, so go ahead and check it out again if you haven't seen it yet. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy your life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.